This is Hyundai's mid-size sedan. It is going to be competing against vehicles such as the Honda Accord, the Toyota Camry, and a lot of other vehicles. Even though SUVs are on a rise, Hyundai has still chosen to give this vehicle an all-new redesign for 2020, and it looks absolutely amazing, especially on the outside as well as on the interior. Hey guys, I'm here with
Kevin Kang.
And today we're going to do a little brief walk around of the all-new 2020 Hyundai Sonata. So tell me what's new for 2020. I mean, I know the vehicle is all new, so what about the exterior styling?
Yeah, I think a lot happened with the exterior styling. I think the main thing is that we increased the wheelbase to give it that really juicy, good stance. And the main thing that sets it apart from the competition is how low the hood is. You can see it's really dramatically sloping down. It gives it that exotic feel. As you can see, there's no part line in the hood, really makes the hood look really long. But what's really kind of standing out feature here as well is how this DRL signature, this light pattern, fades away into the chrome.
Yes,
so
that's a really neat feature. And that's something like unique to the segment.
Totally. We wanted to create something that's, at the forefront, really like pioneering what nobody has done before.
Right.
So when this light is off, this is actually all chrome. And when you turn the car on, this light turns on, but in a fading fashion. This is the first in the industry, something that we're extremely proud to achieve.
So it's not just a segment first, but an industry first.
Industry first, yes.
And I like how this chrome strip has always been present. I believe from the 2011 model on, it has been present. And I really like how this year you implemented it even better by actually flowing it all the way up here and blending it with the light.
Right.
Really, really nice.
Right.
I love it.
Because previously the LED technology didn't really exist back in that time, but now we got the technology, so how do we combine the two together? That's what we tried to do.
That is awesome.
Thank you.
And I love the front as well. It has a very wide stance, especially in comparison to the previous generation.
Yes.
It looks a lot wider, a lot more planted. So moving down the side, I really love this accent here. It just gives it a very sporty and low planted look.
Yeah, so the main direction that we call sensuous sportiness applies here too. You can see the sculpting of this fender right here. Super smooth, very sensuous. It almost it invites you to actually go and touch the front fender
it's like
here.
A very smooth transition to the hood
right
there.
But performance, right? The sportiness is reflected on little, vent slats here. I think some of the cues there really help it accentuate the sporty character of this vehicle.
Definitely. And moving down the side, the overall character lines, I just love how everything accentuates the length of the vehicle as well. It's a very elegant and fluidic style. And
actually the chrome strip, what we call the dynamic glass, or this chrome strip right here, actually helps that cause as well, because it runs along the entire length of the car and makes it feel really long, right? And also these body crease character lines here that start right here and continue to the back and kind of hooks around to the tail light and becomes a spoiler. This line also complements that as well. So again, creating that really long look, and it emphasizes the long wheelbase of the car.
Definitely. And looking at the rear looks very, very neat as well. After the post-refresh model of the previous generation implemented how they took away the license plate from here and they just started lowering the license plate and making the vehicle, this sort of pretty much mimics that, but in a lot more of a unique way. And I really love how this light runs all the way across. It sort of reminds me of the Genesis G90, the new 2020 Genesis G90. And that's very, very good because it looks very elegant and sporty and almost like luxurious. It's very not what you expect from a Hyundai Sonata, definitely.
Right. I think what really sets this part of the car apart is actually how sharp this spoiler is. This is super sharp, and it's something that was really hard to make, but again, our engineers put an extra effort to make that happen. And these little divots right here, they actually serve a purpose. It increases the aerodynamic efficiency by 1 count, so it lowers the coefficient of drag numbers. So it's not just styling, it's not just for looks, but it's for function as well.
That is awesome. So it's not just here just for aesthetics. Even though it looks incredible, it actually serves a real purpose, which is awesome to hear. And down there we have the exhaust tip as well as the diffuser, and it has a very neat look. I love the black accenting, how it runs all the way around, and it complements what's also on the roof. It has a blacked out roof as well.
Absolutely.
Really, really neat. So as far as the trunk goes, I love how this is implemented. This is like the Elantra.
You know how to use it.
Yes, I do know how to use it. At first when I saw it, I was like, oh, they implemented like how the Elantra was, and it's very clean. I love how you don't have like all these extra things.
Right.
It's just very, very clean.
Yeah.
And the trunk looks big. I remember the Sonata was pretty much like one of the largest trunks in the class. Is that still the case?
Yes, it has a huge trunk, and that's why I think this package is so superior, because it's a usable car.
Right.
You know, without having to have a hatchback or anything. The trunk, as you can see, has a very generous cargo volume.
That's great. I can't wait to do a trunk review of that. That'll be awesome. All right, so how about we look at the interior?
Sure.
All right, so here we are inside the interior. So what's new about the interior? I mean, stepping right inside of here, it's definitely a lot different from the previous generation.
I think the first thing that you notice is how low the dashboard is compared to the previous generation.
Right.
And we just wanted to try to avoid this feeling of the machine becoming so big and overwhelming.
Right.
So we tried to compress everything, and that was the main point of this interior. So you can see this point being really low and sloped, this section right here.
Very neat.
And again, what really helped us to achieve this is how thin the vents are. And this is something that you will notice right away, how thin these are.
The vents are very, very thin. It's sleek. And
this was particularly hard to do because vents, they have to pump out air, right? And when you make it thin, you know, you may run into the risk of this making additional noise, like does it pump out enough air? But both of which we were able to achieve by technologies inside the air vents, very innovative technology. So it's thin, but it performs at the right levels.
That's great. And it looks very, very neat. And I love how it has like the chrome accenting, which is, you know, present all around the interior. And one other thing that I'm noticing is right here, this is the push-button gear selector, and it's very reminiscent of what's found inside of the Palisade.
Yes, it's the same unit that we're using as an identity for all the Hyundai cars, and the main benefit I want to show you is that previously, when you had a big stick shifter here, it got in the way of your hand trying to reach something here. So when you want to put the phone down into the charger, you can just directly hover over the shifter and put it down. You don't have to like go
around anything.
Exactly. So it clears up so much space and makes all this space usable in the inside.
And it looks very open, and you could just, you know, throw anything in here. You also have the center console right here. And overall, it's a very sleek design. And the steering wheel, this is one thing I really like.
Thank you.
I really love the steering wheel because I like holding my steering wheel here.
Absolutely.
And when you have that split right here, you end up holding it on the side. But I love, you can hold it here, you can hold it here, you can hold it here. It's just a comfortable steering wheel, and you can pretty much have your hand at any position. Right.
I think when we were designing the steering wheel, the key thing was we wanted to avoid a typical three-spoke sporty steering wheel design. But as you said, a lot of customers prefer having the steering wheel in the bottom portion of the wheel. But how do you make it sporty, right? So this aluminum trim here, that actually looks like a flight yoke of an airplane. So it kind of gives you that sensation that it's aggressive, you know, you know, you can fly an airplane, that kind of a thing, without having to make it look like a, you know, like a slow car or something. So
I really love this design. Very, very neat. And the gauge cluster and this, I know this looks almost reminiscent of what Mercedes was doing, but also I saw this in the Palisade, and I like how Hyundai is starting to have everything go towards that design in the interior. Like how you said with this gear selector, we're going to start seeing this across the Hyundai lineup. And this as well, I'm expecting we're also going to see across the Hyundai lineup as well in the future.
Totally. Because it just helps to have a very large touchscreen in the car. A lot of information can be embedded in there, and we're trying to seamlessly connect the cluster and the navigation together in a very innovative fashion.
All right, really, really neat. All right, so how about we go and hop in and just look in the back seat really quick, and then we could check out what's under the hood. All right, so let's go ahead and hop on inside of the interior. All right, so hopping on inside of the interior. One thing I want to say, I like how I could get right inside of this car without having to duck my head down, and it still has that really neat and sleek.
Absolutely. It's all about the balance. So how low can you lower this point? But how do you provide, you know, the access point so that people don't bang their heads on the roof, right? So that was the challenge there.
I love it, and it has this perfect cutout right here. Your head just slides right in there. And the other thing I noticed is just how roomy it is in here as well. This almost feels like a full-size sedan.
Yeah, there's a lot of room in the back.
Yes, definitely. And this sunroof is incredible. It has a nice panoramic sunroof, and it runs all the way to right over here above your head. You have a nice center armrest here as well, right?
Yep.
So that's awesome. All in all, I really like this back seat. Definitely very spacious. And are there multiple color options for the Sonata?
Yes, totally. So there's a two-tone option for the dashboard. You can find some camel leather here. You can find gray leather option is here. This is the all-black version with black on black.
That's really, really neat. And I love the red stitching all around. Just gives it, once again, more of that sporty look.
Right.
And I'm actually, do you think there's going to be a sport model possibly of the Sonata coming anytime soon?
Maybe.
Maybe. You heard that? Maybe. All right, let's go ahead and look at what's under the hood. All right, so here we are in the front of the Sonata, and we're going to check out what's under the hood, right?
Yeah, so this is Brandon, our senior manager at Hyundai Motor America, to help us explain a little bit more about the powertrain.
Yeah, so what we have here is the Limited, and the Limited, it has lots of power. So it's powered by a 1.6 turbo, and it delivers 195 pounds-feet of torque, as little as 1,500 RPM.
Oh wow, very, very early.
Yeah, so you're gonna feel it. When you're on the freeway, you put your foot on the throttle,
and
you're gonna
instant torque.
Yes, exactly. And because it's a 1.6 turbo, it's very fuel efficient, so it gets 31 miles per gallon combined.
Oh wow.
So, but the standard engine for the base model is an all-new 2.5 liter engine. So we improved the fuel economy 4 mpgs. So before it was 29 mpgs combined, now it's 33 miles combined.
Wow.
So a very fuel efficient vehicle, because nowadays we're from Southern California, the price is upwards of $4, and
exactly.
Hey, that hits your pocketbook.
Every little last MPG counts for
Yes,
sure.
exactly.
And as far as the transmission goes, is it going to have a CVT like how the new Elantra has?
No. So it's going to be all of them are going to be 8-speed automatic transmission.
So like the Palisade.
Yeah, so you're going to feel more traditional shifting pattern
yes.
that people appreciate, but it also helps with fuel efficiency as well.
Definitely. So it's a torquey engine, more fuel efficient. I mean, it's a win-win.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
And then this whole vehicle rides on an all-new platform. And so it helps with fuel efficiency, it helps with crash as well,
right.
but it also helps with driving dynamics as well.
That's great. I'm really impressed with this vehicle, definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, well there you have it. This is the all-new 2020 Hyundai Sonata. Thank you so much to Kevin for doing a walk around of this vehicle. And all in all, I'm really impressed with the overall styling as well as the powertrain options in both the interior, exterior, and the trunk as well. Everything put together just makes for the Sonata to be a perfect package. It will definitely be a strong competitor in the mid-size sedan segment.
Thank you.
Thank you. Comment and tell me what you would like to see in future videos. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. This is Marcus, and thanks for watching Drive and Be Driven. Keep it positive, and I'll see you next time. You can become a Drive and Be Driven driver today. Just simply click the subscribe button, and you will become a part of the Drive and Be Driven circle. Subscribing will allow you to stay up to date with the Drive and Be Driven YouTube channel. Thank you to all of my current Drive and Be Driven drivers for driving me towards my goals and dreams. Stay subscribed for more awesome videos like this one.